Hello, difference makers. Kimberly here with a bit of a message for you. So, this is something that absolutely fascinates me about life. So, as we're brought up and we go to school, we are pretty well conditioned that we show up, we learn. We learn lessons from different teachers, different subjects, and then we're even given time to study those lessons. Unless it's a pop quiz, we're typically told when a test is going to be on those lessons. Even during the lessons, often the teacher will let us know, hey, this is going to be on the test. And so we can make special note of it. And we're given this opportunity to learn and then to study and to prepare. And then we take the test to see how well we learned the lessons, right? But it's not like that in life. It's like that in school, but it is not like that outside of school. So it's one of the things that we kind of need to learn and kind of condition ourselves and be prepared in a different way. Because in life, the test comes first. Almost always. The test comes first, and then from the test, we need to learn the lesson. Whether it's from mistakes made or challenges with relationships or our work, we get tested, and then from the test we have to decide if we're going to learn the lesson and what that lesson's going to be. So it may seem really backwards based on how we're brought up and how we're raised in the schooling system, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I have a bit of a challenge for you, because I was thinking about this, and back when I was in high school, I had a girlfriend, and we just would love to challenge each other, academically speaking, because I am a big nerd like that, in case you hadn't figured that out already. And when there was a test coming up in the classes that we had together, we would challenge each other to see who could be ready for the test soonest. Like if the test was on Friday, like we'd study, and then we like quiz each other to see who could feel ready enough to pass the test sooner. Like, could I be ready by Wednesday and then I'm just going to fly by on Friday, or could I be ready before her? So we would do that, and just for fun, and it kind of made us study, which was a good thing too, and it made us talk about the information, and it ended up being this really cool routine. So my challenge for you is knowing what we know, that in life the test comes first. How quickly can you study the test and learn your lesson? That's what I want you to challenge yourself with, because here's what often happens. We're living our lives, we get tested. Maybe it's a set circumstance. We'll call it circumstance A. We get tested. We feel all the feelings that are associated with being tested. Maybe it's a relationship. But then we don't learn the lesson from the test. So next thing you know, a month later, 6 months later, a year later, you find yourself taking the same dang test again. Let's say you're in a relationship, and in that relationship, you don't say what you feel. You don't share how you feel and what you mean when you're in a conversation, and it causes a rift in your relationship. Could be a friendship, could be romantic. And then the relationship falls apart. That's a test. If you just get frustrated, get angry, and move on to the next friendship, the next relationship, and you hadn't learned the lesson from what you just experienced, there is a high likelihood the universe is going to serve that test up again. And so whereas my friend and I used to challenge each other, how quickly can we learn the lessons? How quickly can we review our notes in the textbooks and such and feel prepared for the test? I'm going to flip that on you in your life when you know you've been tested, which is basically, I don't know, daily, when you're in any kind of challenging situation or circumstance. Could be mundane day-to-day interactions with people, or just a thought pattern or a behavior pattern that you experience in your day-to-day life that you have come to realize doesn't serve you. Could be a bigger circumstance or relationship that you find yourself in. We're tested all the time. And it's not to say that life is all about us being tested. That would be sad. It's not. Life is about us exploring and growing and finding joy. But along the way, part of that growth is being tested, and we can get a little uncomfortable in that scenario. So instead of just feeling potentially the emotions, often what we could label as negative emotions, frustration, sadness, anger, that would come from feeling tested, feeling like we just got, sideswiped by the universe out of nowhere. So instead of just holding on to those emotions and then moving forward, how quickly can you find the lesson? Because I promise you, in every circumstance you find yourself in where you feel you've been challenged, you feel you've been tested, there's a lesson in it for you. And it may be a lesson that there's something within you, within your perspective, within your mindset, within how you look at things or respond to things that might need to shift, to change, to evolve. Or it might be that there are certain circumstances that you need to learn not to put yourself in, or types of people to not bring yourself around. There's lots of different lessons to learn. So the challenge for you is how quickly, once you've been tested, feel the feelings, feel the feels, but then move through that and just ask yourself, okay, that wasn't great. That didn't feel good. But what can I learn from it? And there may be some situations you can have an answer right away. Others you need more time to process, could take a day, a week, a month. But unless you're asking the question, seeing as how we live a good part of our lives on autopilot, there's a good chance you're just going to move on and then have to deal with the same test again. So to see if we can create a routine where we don't have to take the same test over and over again, how about we challenge ourselves? I'm going to challenge me too. When we feel tested, when we feel like we've been challenged, feel it, whatever you need to feel. If it didn't feel good, okay, take a step back and see what the lesson could be. Because if you can walk away from a challenge, from a test with a lesson in your back pocket, then that's a lot better way to move forward in and with the opportunity to grow and evolve from the experience, right? So that's my challenge for you. That's my invitation for you. And I'd love to know how it goes for you. So maybe there's something that happened today. Share in the comments. It would be very inspiring to hear from you. And let me know if there's something that happened today or recently that challenged you, that made you feel tested. And what can you learn from it? Is there a lesson that you can take away and move forward? And then maybe we have a different set of circumstances next time where we're not tested in such the same way. So there we go. Test comes first, lesson comes second. It's not that way in school. In school, we get the benefit of learning first. But in life, it's the test first. So be okay with it. It is what it is. Be okay with it. And wrap yourself around the benefit that can come from it by engaging with what the lesson can be. Okay? So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, your evening, your week, depending on when you might be catching this. And until our paths cross again, just know that I am sending you much, much love. Take care.